Keen Nutrition is a food company based in Crawfordsburn, Northern Ireland, and we make foods that are healthy versions of other foods you might be familiar with. So our first product is Keen Nut Butter, and that's a healthier version of peanut butter. Well, if you were to buy a commercial peanut butter in the shop, there are quite a few differences. So I think the first key difference would be that with our nut butters, we add as minimal ingredients as possible. So our almond butter, the only ingredient is almonds. There's no salt, there's no sugar, there's no palm oil or oil of any kind. You're just getting 173 almonds smushed up in the jar. And it means there's a shorter life on the product, but I think the trade-off, considering the sugar and the salt and oil that you'd get in a supermarket brand, makes it worth it. The second reason that I personally think everybody should make a switch away from peanut butter is that almonds, compared to peanuts, are what we would call alkaline. So they actually reduce inflammation in your body, and they generally, if you have problems with arthritis or any inflammatory disease, they'll help reduce those symptoms. Whereas peanuts are actually the polar opposite. So they're acidic and they increase inflammation. I work with a couple of distributors. So I have a distributor that goes throughout Dublin up to the Belfast area, and another one that covers most of Northern Ireland. Between those two distributors, we're in about 50 locations now. And I also go to the North Down Craft Collective Market in Hollywood once a month. I actually think people's perceptions are changing every day. We're starting to realize that cheap isn't necessarily better. Cheap, all that really provides us with is disease, a lack of awareness of where our food is coming from. And when you have a lack of awareness and you're putting that junk into your body, it actually ends up being more costly in the long run, both to society through the medical bills and to yourself, from how you feel, your quality of life, everything. So to me, spending a little bit more for a product that is very clean is well worth it.
Yeah, that would be great. You could certainly owe me 50p.
I'm a nutrition consultant, and I was working with a lot of people and families in the area. And one of the things that they really found the hardest was to make dietary changes. Everyone has their habits, everyone eats very similar things throughout the day, and it's really hard to break out of those habits. And I thought if we could produce products that don't require a change in their habits but automatically improve their health, then that's a win-win. They don't need to change their habits, but they're getting the benefits of it. And so that's when I started looking for a food product that would make that work.
We're sold out of hazelnuts.
I'm from Canada. And in Canada, you actually get what I would consider more extremes. So you get a lot of people that are very meat and potatoes and would eat quite unhealthily. But then you also get people that are a larger majority that are very, very aware of what they eat. And so health-related foods would be quite popular. In Northern Ireland in particular, I've found, especially through consulting and raising two children as vegetarian/vegans, there's a lot of resistance to healthy eating. But that is changing, and I think it's changing rapidly. I think over the next couple of years, there's going to be widespread change. And you see it in the newspapers where you get headlines about eating a vegetarian diet, how beneficial that is, about how we should be concerned about what we're eating. And so I think that will happen. The change is here now, and it's going to keep on happening. I used to be a digital strategist, and I felt such a love and such an interest in food that it was one of those things that you just feel as though you have to retrain. And the more that I learned about food and nutrition in general, the more I almost felt as though the general public was being deceived in what we're eating and what we're buying. And so I wanted to do something that would make a difference. And consulting with people does make a difference on a small scale, but providing a food product that hopefully more and more people over the next few years will be able to access and buy and really enjoy and have their children enjoy, that seemed to be something that I could do that would make a much bigger difference.